There is a part of you that does not want you to win. You can feel it most clearly when life finally starts moving. You get an opportunity and suddenly you disappear. You make progress and suddenly the old habits come back. You meet someone good and suddenly you become cold. You promise yourself this time will be different, and then you watch yourself do the exact thing that ruins it. And the worst part is not that you fail. The worst part is that some part of you saw it coming. You knew the phone would pull you in. You knew the excuse was weak. You knew the decision would cost you. And still, you did it. So the question is not, why am I lazy? The question is, what part of me is safer when I fail? Most people think self-sabotage is a lack of discipline. But that is too simple. If it were only discipline, you would sabotage everything equally. But you do not. You sabotage the things that matter, the things that would force you to become visible, the things that would change how people see you, the things that would make the old version of you impossible to return to. You can do meaningless tasks. You can scroll for hours. You can help other people solve their problems. You can give brilliant advice. But when the moment comes to build your own life, something inside you pulls the emergency brake. That part of you is not trying to make you happy. It is trying to keep you familiar. Because familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar freedom. Think about the old version of you like a guard standing outside a locked door. Behind the door is the life you say you want. Confidence, peace, respect, better relationships, better work, a body you trust, a mind that does not betray you every night. But the guard does not care about your dreams. The guard only cares about survival. And survival speaks in old memories. It remembers being embarrassed. It remembers being rejected. It remembers trying and failing. It remembers someone laughing. It remembers needing love and not getting it. It remembers what happened when you were honest, when you cared, when you wanted something too much. So now, every time you move toward change, the guard whispers, "Do not open that door. Stay here." At least here, we know the pain. That is why self-sabotage can feel so irrational from the outside and so powerful from the inside. You are not just fighting a bad habit. You are fighting a nervous system that has confused growth with danger. This is why people ruin things right before they improve. They procrastinate before the deadline that could prove they are capable. They start arguments when a relationship begins to feel safe. They stop posting when people start paying attention. They quit the routine after the first signs of progress. They go numb exactly when they should feel proud. From the outside, it looks like weakness. But inside, it is a negotiation. One part of you wants the future. Another part of you is loyal to the past. And the past has a powerful argument. If you never fully try, then you never fully fail. If you reject them first, they cannot abandon you. If you stay average, no one can expect more from you. If you destroy the opportunity yourself, at least you are in control of the destruction. That is the hidden comfort of sabotage. It turns fear into a decision. Psychology calls some of this self-sabotage, sometimes self-handicapping, sometimes avoidance, sometimes perfectionism, sometimes fear of failure. Different names, same pattern. You create an obstacle, then use the obstacle to explain why you did not become who you could have become. You waited too long, so now there is no point. You were too tired, so now it does not count. You did not have the right setup, so now it was not your real attempt. You picked the wrong person, the wrong time, the wrong plan, the wrong day. And beneath all of it is a quiet bargain. I would rather have an excuse than have proof that I am not enough. That line is painful because it is honest. A lot of self-sabotage is not the fear of failing. It is the fear of failing without an excuse. It is the fear of standing in front of your own life with nothing to blame. But here is the darker truth. Every excuse that protects your ego also steals your future. So how do you fight the part of you that wants you to fail? Not by hating it. That is the mistake. The shadow does not disappear because you insult it. The old self does not let go because you scream affirmations at it. The scared part of you does not become brave because you call it weak. You start by asking what it is protecting. When you procrastinate, what feeling are you avoiding? When you ruin a relationship, what fear are you acting out? When you quit after making progress, what identity are you trying to preserve? When you numb yourself, what truth are you refusing to sit with? Most people try to defeat the symptom before they understand the function. But every sabotage pattern has a job. It may be a destructive job. It may be outdated. It may be costing you years. But at some point, it helped you survive something. That does not mean you obey it forever. It means you stop pretending it is random. The moment you understand what your sabotage is protecting, you get your power back. Because now the old voice is no longer invisible. It says, "Do not try. You might fail." And you answer, "Maybe." But avoiding my life is also failure. It says, "Do not trust them. They might leave." And you answer, "Maybe." But loneliness has been leaving me too. It says, "Stay who you are. At least you know how to be this person." And you answer, "Exactly." That is the problem. This is where change begins. Not with a perfect routine. Not with becoming fearless. Not with pretending the old self is gone. Change begins when you can feel the pull backward and still take one step forward. Not because you are suddenly motivated, because you are finally conscious. The old self used to move your hand in the dark. Now you can see it, reaching. There will come a moment when the old pattern returns. It always does. You will be tired. You will be close to something good. You will feel the strange panic of becoming someone new. And the old guard will appear at the door again. It will offer you the familiar pain, the old escape, the easy collapse. And this time, you do not have to fight it like an enemy. You can look at it and say, "I know why you are here. You kept me safe when I did not know another way. But you do not get to lead anymore." Then you open the door. Not all the way. Not perfectly. Not without fear. Just enough to prove that the part of you that wants to live is stronger than the part of you that only knows how to survive.